Folks are saying that this movie is in similar likeness to Die Hard.
Wow.
How do you feel about that?
Well, I think that is a very kind comparison. Obviously, I'd be lying if I said that, the movie isn't like inspired by Die Hard, exactly. I'm so pleased with how it turned out. I just loved it when I watched it. It's so much fun, made me feel super Christmassy, and I thought it was really like tense and exciting. And if we bear comparison to Die Hard, I'm a very happy man.
Do you like to watch yourself on screen?
That's a really interesting question. It really depends on how I'm feeling. I think if I'm feeling robust, then it's all good. If I'm not feeling robust, it can be hard. And I think that's just called being a human being, I think. It's certainly not something that I rush to do as much as I used to. Mm-hmm. But I do also like to see a movie come together or a TV show come together and see, it's not just my work. But yeah, I was really pleased with how this turned out.
What do you love about Ethan?
That he's like unremarkable. He's just a normal guy. He's a normal guy doing his best, and he's thrust into this extraordinary situation. Like, I think the movie says when we were making the movie before we started filming, I said to Jalma, I think the movie is a guy who's asleep, waking up. A little bit, and I kind of talked, I'm not comparing us to The Matrix, but I liked that thing that happens in The Matrix. It's about a guy waking up. Mm-hmm. And we kind of used that as a touchstone for the film, and it makes it into the story as well. It's one of the things that Jason and I say to each other, that he's asleep and he's waking up. And I like that about him. I know what it feels like to be in a slump and to feel like, you're in a funk or whatever, and that you're in a sticky spot. And that normally comes before you kind of...
Like that breakthrough. That
breakthrough, you dust yourself off and you have that little period of growth. It just, for most people, it doesn't happen during a high-security terrorist attack.
Accurate.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. But I think you raised such a good point. And I think, especially this time of year, I think we don't talk enough about, going through slumps or going through your thing or feeling lonely. Because the holidays, yes, it can be a joyful time, but not for everybody.
No, exactly. There's always people going through rough stuff.
Yeah.
And I think, as you say, it's nice to remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get to play opposite Sophia.
Yeah.
And who brings such a sense of groundedness to the performance.
She does.
And to Ethan as well. Because she's so calm.
She's calm, and she's the grown-up in the relationship. Yeah. She's the one who's got her stuff together. She knows who she is. And I think, Ethan is, I think he's 30 in the story. And... in my life, I think, people talk about knowing themselves, and I think for a lot of people that seems to happen in their 30s, and I think Ethan is just before that as the movie starts. He kind of has got that existential distractedness that can kind of happen to people at around that age, and that's certainly my experience. But Sophia's awesome, and as you say, she brings such a lovely grounded quality to the movie, and it was a pleasure working with her.
So what kind of traveler are you? Are you a nervous traveler? Are you a calm traveler? Are you a prepared traveler?
I'm a very prepared traveler.
All three of you, Danielle, too, and Sophia.
Well, I think because we're actors, and we have to do it quite a bit, I think you learn quite quickly that it goes much, much better the more organised you are. I'm not nervous. I went through a phase. I once landed in Milan, and just before the plane was about to land, I'm talking like meters from the runway, it took off again. And so it kind of did the big swoop thing, and I presume it overshot the runway.
Sure.
And I was nervous for a couple of years after that. It really messed me up, but that was about 6 years ago, and I'm recovered now.
Do you have like a playlist? Like a flying playlist?
Yeah, I do. I listen to...
What do you listen to now? What's on your iTunes?
So my what am I listening to right now? The things that I've been listening to this morning are a song by a band called Parcels, I think it's called Hideout. It's I think one of their newer ones. I was listening to that this morning.
Are you a holiday music guy?
Yeah, I am.
Are you really?
Yeah, I am. I just I just sent my Spotify Christmas playlist to my family.
And what was on it? What's your top 3 holiday songs?
My top 3, so 2,000 Miles by the Pretenders would be up there. White Christmas by Otis Redding specifically would be up there. I do also like the Drifters version, but not as much. And I don't know, what else would go in there? There's one that I've been quite enjoying the past couple of Christmases, which is kind of like quite a frothy, upbeat one, but it's one by oh, come on, Taron. Who did Call Me Al? Call Me Al. Who did Call Me Al?
Call Me Out?
Paul Simon.
Oh, Paul Simon.
So there's a Paul Simon Christmas song. I think it's called Christmas Day. I think that I've been listening to. It's like really jovial and upbeat, but it's quite like good kind of like getting ready for Christmas music.